Welcome back to the Rootless Minds Podcast. I'm your host, Noah Robertson. I talk to anybody, anywhere about anything. And today I have on my friend, Kobe Lee Dill.
Hello.
Have you ever got like dill pickle jokes? Like, did people ever bash on you because of that in elementary school?
Not bash. They just were like, dill pickle. It was like,
Dill pickle.
I mean, it wasn't even annoying. I was like, let's add a nickname.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Just like people with my name, they would, too many Noah's Ark jokes. I get that all the time at work. Being a server, like, I'm your host. My name's Noah. Oh, Noah. You got an ark in the backyard, Noah? No, I don't. Oh, no, it's starting to rain. You better get that boat ready. Yeah, I've heard that like a million times. So everybody's got that thing. Unfortunately, though, that's what helps me remember names. I have a coworker named Gracie, and I remembered her name is Graceful. I imagine her like doing ballet dancing, being graceful, because I'm horrific with names. Did I ever struggle with your name? I feel like I did at first. When we like first hang out, did you notice me avoiding saying your name or anything like that?
I don't think so, no. I mean...
Try to talk directly into the mic.
I mean, honestly, like, I always had a thought in my head that's like, I never hear people say my name. Like, it's not a common thing that I hear in my day life. I mean, like, people say, hey, but I don't know. I always feel like people avoid saying my name. It's not like a bad thing, but it's like, no one ever says my name. I wonder why.
Do you have any idea why you think that is? Some speculations? Did you sit there and think on that?
I think it's just my head getting into like overthinking things. Maybe
they think it's Colby, or they're like either it's Colby or Kobe, but I don't want to ask again. So they might be, like double guessing themselves because of that.
I had a friend that called me Colby all the time. I mean, we used to hang out all the time because he lived up the street with me, and like I would correct him so many times, and he still called me Colby. He still does it to this day.
To this day, when you're hanging out.
Well, we don't hang out anymore, but every time I see him.
Did you hear Google there?
Yeah.
Damn, Google, I gotta turn off those notifications. Oh well, live and learn. Tilt the mic down just a little bit, brother.
Yeah. Pop filter.
This thing has a built-in pop filter, the mics, because if you screw off the cap, there's already a pop filter inside. I just bought these just in case, because I don't want to be raping people's ears with. Don't do the ASMR, man. Oh my gosh, now I got to do it.
What are you doing, step bro?
Too much. I'm doing too much to you, bro.
Dude, random question. This has been on my mind lately because I was at work and this little kid, I had a family of 5, and the little kid, anything he had in his hands, he would offer to me. He'd be like, here. And I'd hold out my hand and say, thank you. Whether it was a crayon or a napkin or like he gave me a French fry, just whatever it was, I always accept just because it's a kid being nice. And I remember that a long time ago, I was at work. This was in Washington when I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings. And there was this woman and her kid, and she was like putting in a to-go order. I was working the to-go, and her kid, he grabbed one of the gift cards. They're not preloaded yet. You have to swipe them to load the money on it. He grabbed one. He said, here, and he tried offering it to me, and I just didn't take it because I was like, maybe his mom doesn't want me to take it. Whatever all the justification was, I didn't take it. And the mom said, just accept it. She's like, just take the card. And she had to tell me that directly. And I took the card. I was like, oh, thank you. And I felt so bad I still remember that. That was over a year ago, probably a year and a half, 2 years ago that happened. And I still remember it. It eats me inside. So anytime a kid, offers me something, just anything at all, even if they like just clip their nails and they give me a toenail clipping, like here, I'll be like, oh, thank you. And then I'll throw it away later. Is there any things you look back on where you're like, oh, I can't believe I did that, dude. I feel so bad. I mean, it could have been like a learning experience, but you look back on yourself and you're like, gosh, I was being such an idiot.
I used to steal a lot.
Like piddly little things, or did you actually try to steal big things?
Well, I mean, kind of big things. I mean, it was like video games from kids on my street. Like, I remember this one kid had like Pokemon White, and I didn't have that yet. So I was like,
for what console?
The DS.
The DS.
I was like, I want that. And then like I also had my DS there. So what I did is I just swapped a game that I had like played for like ever.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't like this game anymore. It's boring. I want that. So I just swapped games, and then I don't think we ever hung out again after that day.
Did
So,
he find out?
I don't know. I mean, I never
Never looked back. Like, I'm stealing. I don't want to find out if he found out.
Yeah. Still have it. I think I gave it to my other friend.
He traded out. He's like, oh, I've been gotten. Time to get somebody else. You think he pulled a doozy on someone else because he got the wool pulled over his eyes?
No. I don't think so.
Another example of something I look back on, I'm like, dang, I feel so bad for doing that. I was at my friend's house. This was in middle school, I think 7th grade, I believe. I was at my friend Ethan's house, and Ethan, Aiden, myself, and my girlfriend Abby were all there. We were trying to arranging this continuous movie night we would do, like every Friday, every other Friday, or one Friday a month. We tried doing this as often as possible whenever we could. I believe we were watching Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller that night. A great duo for a night.
I've never watched those movies.
You've never seen either? Here, first of all, move the mic closer to you. Point it
I've never
towards your
seen
mouth.
either of those movies.
Neither movie.
Neither.
Dude, all right. We're definitely going to be watching them, maybe even tonight. How much time do you have? When do you got to go home? Because I don't work in the morning, so I can stay up pretty late.
Well, I got to get up and do stuff. It's only 8.
8?
I can stay up for pretty a while.
Okay. If we have time, I will definitely introduce those movies to you. Classics, especially Ferris Bueller. You've got to know Ferris Bueller for the pop culture, man.
I know of those movies, and I've seen some clips of them from like other YouTubers and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm. Well, we were there watching, and I had my girlfriend Aubrey with me, and she was like my second girlfriend, I believe.
the girlfriends in middle school don't count.
They do, yeah. They don't really
anything
count.
before high school does not count.
Or
at least
I agree
year.
with that. I always say my first real girlfriend when talking about the girlfriend I had at 16. But we were dating at this time. I don't really count it though, because it wasn't a full on relationship. You're totally right. And her and I, we were like on the couch cuddling a little bit, but we were in my friend's parents' house, like in their media room. And it was nothing bad at first, but then we eventually got into like spooning on the couch in the dark. And
That's where things happen.
Nothing escalated after that. But we were just overly cuddling. We'll say that. We were overly cuddling. And Miss Johnson, his mom walked in. And as soon as I heard that door creak, I sat up really fast because I knew what I was doing was wrong. I sat up really fast.
I mean, it's just spooning.
No, man, it was. Oh, I felt so bad. I sat up really fast, and I've never really done anything like this. Meaning, I've never done that nervous freak out when you're doing something wrong. Because I sat up. And I just said, "Hey, Miss Johnson, do you need any help with anything? You need any help?"
You're one of those.
No, I'm not. I never do that. But at this time, I just sat up. I felt so nervous and bad that I was like, "Oh, do you need any help with anything? Oh, you don't? Okay, good, bye." And I just like slumped back down. I know she knew something was afoot, but I still think back on that sometimes because I mean, I've got nothing but respect for those two people. I mean, they were so kind, so intelligent, smart, fun people.
So you didn't want to look like you're doing something bad in their house?
Yeah, that's arguably like the worst thing that ever happened in their house, because I've got nothing but respect for them. I mean, I feel more bad about that than I do TPing their house.
Which is more of a... All right.
Yeah, when I was 17, almost 18, I had a girlfriend, and her and I... this was actually before we started dating. Her and I, Halloween, we were going around trick-or-treating, hanging out, getting food, eating candy, blah, blah, blah. And we TP'd 2 houses, I believe. My friend John's house, whose sister got in trouble for it, and she had to clean it up. If this ever gets to her, I'm sorry for that. And then we TP. By the way, back to John's house. His dad was up and awake and in the living room walking around with the lights on, like getting food and everything. We had to be really, really sneaky while we were doing it. I felt so good getting away with that. I mean, I felt so good and so bad at the same time.
I don't think I've ever TP'd a house. I remember I think I did egg a house once.
What? That's way worse. I would never egg a house because if they don't clean that off immediately, they've got to get there and scrape the egg off.
Well, I've had friends that egg and then TP, which is even worse.
That's way worse.
Sticky and yeah.
Yeah, dude. I've TP'd just 2 houses, just those 2 houses. I never do egging a house. My house has been egged once back in Washington. Luckily, I was still awake and I cleaned it off immediately. But back to the Johnson's house, we went over to their house. It was really late at night, and her and I were TPing the house, throwing toilet paper around the trees and the lawn and like over the fence. And I jumped the fence in the backyard. And hold on, let me preface this by saying, her and I talked before, and we said, if anybody is ever coming up to us, like anybody's like, hey, stop that, or we ever get caught at all, just run. You run one way, I run the other. We both have each other's phone number. We're going to split until we know we're not being followed. Then we'll meet back up. We agreed to that. We reiterated it multiple times. And then I was in the backyard throwing toilet paper around, and I saw a flashlight coming around the front part of the fence. And this was like a thick wooden fence, so I could only sort of see the flashlight through the slits in it. And I heard Mr. Johnson say, I called the police. And I was like, shit. And I dove over this tall, premium, thick wooden fence, didn't even touch the fence. I just dove straight over the fence, rolled, grabbed the backpack, and ran. And then when I looked back, by the time I got to the end of the road, he was standing there next to her, and she didn't run. She just froze up. And I was like, what the hell? And I ran away, and I took 2 turns, and then I hid behind a bush, and I texted her, what the hell are you doing? Run, just run. And then 2 minutes later, she walked around the corner saying, he went over there. I was like, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? You just out me like that?
She's not a real one.
Oh, dude, it hurt so bad. And by that time, I was like, okay, I mean, she's clearly not going to friggin' run away from this guy. And so I stood up. I said, sorry, we'll clean it up. He said, good. And by that time, he already seen my face. So he's like, no, what the hell are you... He didn't say this, but I'm sure he was thinking, no, what the hell are you doing? TP in my house. And so I went, we cleaned up their house. And the whole time I was like, why didn't you run? We agreed upon running. And she's like, I froze up. I'm sorry. I was like, what the hell are you doing? I never really let her live that down.
I mean, why would you? I mean, you both were in agreement that you were going to run.
Just run. And she played soccer. She was very fit. She was a great runner. She was faster than myself. And I was like, just freaking run. That's all you got to do. Run. But yeah, we got caught. I don't really feel bad about that because like Ethan would have probably cleaned it up and it's just toilet paper. But I do feel bad about like spooning her in their living room. I feel bad about that. So bad. Dude, there was literally a time I went over to their house to hang out with Ethan. And they lived a couple blocks from me, so I just jog over all the time. He and I were best friends all through middle school. And I went over to their house to hang out with Ethan, and he just... I was just checking to make sure I was recording. I got paranoid. He just was like, sorry, man, I got a bunch of homework to do. So I just walked down to the kitchen, and I think I was like going to get some milk and then go back home. And Miss Johnson, his mom, was making some food. And she's like, hey, do you want a sandwich? I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. She made me a sandwich. We were eating it. And she said, so what are you and Ethan going to do today? I was like, oh, he's got homework. We're not really going to hang out. And then she said, here, you can play, I don't remember the name of the game, but you've got 3 horizontal PVC pipes, and you throw like 2 golf balls connected by a string. You have to throw them and wrap them around the PVC pipes. It's this little lawn game people play when you've got like dinner parties or whatever. And so her and I just played that for hours, talking about random stuff. I mean, I love them. They brought me on their vacation to their cabin. You know, they paid for my food plenty of times. Mr. Johnson made me a bison burger. Oh, that was so good. Have you ever had a bison burger? It is delicious. So delicious. I'm passionate about it. I want another. That's the only one I've ever had. But yeah.
I want a tuna sandwich.
Actually, what time is it? No, we don't have time. Eventually, we'll go to Jersey Mike's and get the tuna sandwich there. It's good.
It better be.
It is, man. Get on that rosemary parm. I'll bring anybody I can to Jersey Mike's, man. I love Jersey Mike's. Love it so much. I worked there. That was my first job. I worked there at 16. And then I went to Alfie's Pizza, which is like a small pizza shop. Not necessarily small. It was like a pizza and games. Their niche was, it's like a pizzeria. You get your pizza, you can sit at your tables, etc. And there was also video games. They'd have TV and video games. They were always really old, crappy video games that barely worked though. And like a lot of it was just free demos. So the games part wasn't too good. They had a fun arcade though. I loved playing air hockey and playing the driving games and stuff. But I went to work there for a little while because at Jersey Mike's, we got a new manager. And because I wasn't 18 yet, I wasn't allowed to use the meat slicer. And so she laid me off. And then I went to work at Alfie's Pizza. And about a week into working at Alfie's Pizza, my coworker Marcos, he texted me saying, hey, Noah, I'm the new manager here. You want to come back to work? Because like I worked constantly at Jersey Mike's, and I was running the hot subs. I was running the grill constantly. I could do everything except the meat slicer. That's it. It's just like, Noah, can you please come back to work with us? And I said, sorry, Marcos, I got a new job. And I really should have accepted that because Alfie's Pizza was an awful job. I got no problem outing them. It was like disgusting in the kitchen. There was like black mold in the floor. The floor was deteriorating in the kitchen.
Wait, this was a pizza place?
This was a pizza place. Yeah.
Makes sense.
In the bussing station, I was busser, dishwasher, and cook. I would like switch off between all those shifts. Mostly busser and dishwasher though. And in the busser dishwasher area where you're washing dishes and there's a ton of water, they had a wood composite floor, and it was a really poor quality wood composite floor. And this thing was deteriorating and caving in. And to solve this, they didn't get somebody to come in and fix it. They just got a big ass plank of wood, and they just laid it down, and then they threw a mat over it. And that's what I had to work on. So I did not like that job at all. And eventually I quit, and I texted Marcos. I was like, hey, can I still come back? He's like, yeah, man, get over here. And so I went back to Jersey Mike's. And then eventually, this was half a year or less until I turned 18. And that location wasn't making enough money. So he was moving the Jersey Mike's location somewhere else, and that would have been too far of a drive for me. So it's like, okay, that's okay. I'll just wait until I turn 18 so I can get a job that requires you to be 18, make some better money, etc. And I got a job once I turned 18 at Alfie's Pizza, not Alfie's Pizza, Buffalo Wild Wings. That's what I meant. Because you have to be 18 there. Back in Washington, you've got to be 18 to work at any place that serves any sort of alcohol. Is that the case here? I don't think it is.
18?
That's the case? You have to be 18? Wait, no, that's not true. Because I've got coworkers that aren't 18 yet working at Saltgrass Steakhouse. Maybe you have to be 18 to serve alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
To like carry it over to them. But yeah, you don't have to be 18 to work there. But yeah, in Washington, you had to be 18 at least to work any place that served alcohol. And I got the job there. I worked there a while. And I already forgot why'd I talk about what brought me to talking about all the places I've worked.
Jersey Mike's. We're talking about
that's right.
Tuna sandwich.
Gosh, I love Jersey Mike's. I could go full circle right now and continue talking about Jersey Mike's,
bro. I don't want to hear about Jersey Mike's right now.
Why, are you hungry?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I didn't get go food. when I fell down, I just lost all ambition to go anywhere else other than here.
Explain that. Explain how you fell down.
Well, I was like, okay.
Tilt the mic up a little bit. Just like keep it pointed at your mouth. Whenever you adjust the mic too.
Ba ba ba.
Baba booey.
Maybe you can help if I scoot over.
Yeah, if you scoot over, you can move the mic over.
Is this better?
Yeah,
Better?
that works.
All right. Well, because I mean, I was so like, I had so much courage in my stepping. Because yesterday it wasn't that bad. For some reason, it got worse. I don't know why. And so I was like, because I even switched shoes. Cause I had shoes that had like really bad traction. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to slip on these. So I got shoes with better traction. I was like, okay, I got this. And I stepped 1 foot. And I just ate it, dude. And I hit right on my back. I sat there for at least 4 minutes. I was like, because I was contemplating like, yeah, I got to tell my family because there's someone coming home and then eventually someone's going to leave. So I got to be like, yeah, watch your step. We're going to eat it like I did. And I don't know. I don't experience pain a lot, so I just sat there and contemplated, like, yeah, I'm probably dying. I was like, what is broken in my arm? Because it hurts so bad. And I don't think it's broken. It's just like, it's probably what you said earlier, it was bruised.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I ate it. It hurt. I don't trust anything anymore. I literally took like 3 minutes to get to my truck to your door. I was like, yeah.
Were you just walking real slow, or was it so slippery you were like grabbing onto cars and sliding your way over?
Well, I mean, there's the distance between my truck to your door is so long, and there's nothing to grab onto until you get to like the grass, and then there's a tree. But I mean, once you hit the grass, you're basically okay because it's really crunchy and you have quite a bit of traction. But no, it was scary. I thought I was gonna.
Do you think your afro like helped save your head at all?
Not
Do you ever
really.
use your afro as like a pillow or something like that?
No, because I have not a lot of hair in the back of my head. It's mostly just up.
You've got, what's that called? A pompadour? When you've got the hair on the top?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know, man.
I'll look that up. Keep talking.
But yeah, I don't understand why it's so cold here in Texas. It shouldn't be like this. I mean, it can be cold.
I moved here to escape this.
It's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, that's basically a pompadour, yeah. When you've got a bunch of hair on the top, usually it's like that slicked back thing. Like Greasers. Have you read I forget the name of the book. Outsiders. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been forever though.
I read that in middle school, man. In middle school. Do you read still?
Not really.
Yeah, not many people read outside of high school. I love reading.
I have to read a lot for school, and it's so boring.
Mm-hmm. Do they just make you read the instruction stuff like that?
No,
or
there's no instruction manuals. Like, if there's something we need to learn, like for like the field, then that's because right now we learn like skills. We learn for like the first 4 weeks were skills, and now we're at the point where we just practice those skills, and then we have to do it like 3 times, record those, and then the last time the instructor will watch us, and we won't have to do it anymore. I mean,
so for firefighting, which is what you're studying for.
No, I'm doing paramedics.
Oh yeah, paramedics. Then you said you're going to go to firefighting if you still want to, right?
Yeah.
What's the first things they teach you? What's the first things you got to train?
The first thing they taught us on like day 1 was first aid, like bandaging, controlling like the spine and stuff like that, and how to put someone on a board, assess, mostly patient assessments. Like you got to see first couple seconds what's wrong with that person, what treatment they might need, and then as you go on, you keep on assessing blood pressure, heart rate, stuff like that. It's really simple, but
did they have to like run over the very basics of CPR? Do you have to be CPR certified during this studying?
We did learn CPR the other day because we only
keep going.
Oh, okay. Well, we finally learned CPR like the other day, like because we only have classes on Tuesdays, which I kind of like because we only go to school one day. But then I feel like I could learn more if I had like more interaction with the teachers and stuff like that, and more time to see my fellow classmates. Because studying by myself is horrible. Like I can't get anything done. Like I had a test earlier, and I didn't feel confident because I used to study with this guy, but he's been busy for the past 2 weeks, so I've been kind of bombing these tests. And I still have so much homework I need to do. I need to start getting up earlier. I need to fix my sleeping schedule because, like, if I don't have work or school, I like
Sleep all day?
basically. I don't usually wake up at like 1 or 3, which is horrible because I have no time to do anything. Because usually I like to go see my girlfriend, but I was like, I can't see her if I have all this homework I need to do.
Mm-hmm. That sucks, man. I hate college. I hate it. I didn't want to go.
Can you do it?
No.
I was going to say,
No.
I was like,
I still hate it, even though
yeah,
I
you
haven't
hate
done
something
it.
you haven't done.
It's basically just slightly different high school.
But you're all on
The
your
format of school, I don't like, man. I mean, I love learning.
I liked high school more than I do college.
I liked high school way more than middle school. People said enjoy middle school because you're eventually going to go to high school. I thought middle school was the worst, dude. I hated middle school because that's when like the hormonal changes were going crazy and people were all awkward, and you're trying to learn how to function inside this structure of school, because in elementary school it's pretty much just I'm going to play and have fun with friends and learn how to like draw stuff in simple math. Elementary school was so basic and not many people cared, but once you got to middle school, you've got like the hierarchy of, because everybody's got, the popular kids, the jocks, the band students, everybody's got those people. That was starting to really separate people in middle school, and everybody sort of chose their division, and then it sort of pinned people against each other, man. It was so weird.
I honestly don't think that was the case with my school. It was mostly friend groups, never like hierarchies and like type of groups. Because like there was like, you could find like almost every different person in my band. Like there was jocks, there was like the really nerdy people, there were like the socially awkward people, and like the kind of like emo kind of people. But like cause I mean, I was a band person, but I mean like, you didn't really have that in my school. I mean, yeah, there were popular people, but I mean, no one's like bullies. I guess in my day and age, I mean, there weren't really bullies because, I mean, everyone bullies each other. I mean, like, if you're friends, you're good, like, yeah, man, you look pretty crusty today. Yeah.
You're looking mighty
like,
crusty. That reminds me, back in elementary school, it was, in 5th grade, we had finally got our school rebuilt. They were completely remaking the elementary school. And it was only a few weeks into actually using this new school. And I would always get to school a little bit early. And I got there a little bit early. And my genius thought, hey, why don't I climb this? And it was like a 3-story school. I didn't get up to the 3rd story. I was like, I think I got up to the 1st story of climbing.
Were you into parkour?
Yeah, I was for a little while. Not huge, but
I would have loved to do
enjoyed
parkour if
parkour and free running.
If I kept my body to like the way it was before I got into high school, because I was at peak condition. Like I wasn't fat. I mean, I had pretty good muscle mass.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did kind of work out. I mean, I was a little more active, but once I got to high school, I don't know. Because like I filled the basketball team because I showed up late to the tryouts, and then I was like, okay. Because I remember the day I was late to tryouts. I got there, and my friend Sean was like, he wore pants, and I wore shorts. He was like, bro, you got to switch me because I'm not trying to wear pants during tryouts. I was like, all right. And then I was like, but then I became the manager, and so that's when I started getting like more lazier. Because then I just quit athletics completely because band gave me a pre-E credit, so I just did band full time, which is really fun because I love marching band. I miss band so much. If the EMT stuff doesn't work out, I think I'll just join band.
Yeah, you said you like miss band so much. I miss jujitsu so much, man. I totally miss having that physical sport I got to practice and improve at, especially because it was a self-defense sport, and it allowed me to get out my aggression without actually injuring somebody. Actually, I did injure somebody, but it wasn't my fault, I swear. He was a purple belt, and we were sparring, and he got me onto my back, and he was going to take mount, and like when he was trying to say this without sounding so sexual. When he got me to the ground, he basically, let's just say he fell on top of me, and my elbow was on the ground. My fist was up. I didn't mean to do it that way.
Did you fist him?
Hold on. Hold on. When I fell, I fell like that, and he fell on top, and his shoulder hit my fist and completely dislocated his entire shoulder. I mean, this wasn't, I didn't do anything wrong. He didn't really do anything wrong either. It's just, it happened. And so for months after that, he had his arm in a cast because his shoulder was totally messed up. And that time I did, someone was injured during sparring. But other than that, jiu-jitsu, you don't really injure people, because it's just wrestling with the intent to incapacitate, but you don't actually hurt them. You get to the point of, I could break your arm right now, but I'm going to stop because I've claimed the dominant position. And dude, I miss it so much, man. So much. And I'm thinking when I eventually get back into it, when I get finances in order and I eventually get the heck out of my parents' house, I feel like I might go back into jiu-jitsu, because jiu-jitsu is amazing for a one-on-one combat, but if it's ever more than one person, jiu-jitsu doesn't really do much, I feel. So I might go into MMA, because I can't really punch very well. I know that, I understand that. I can kick hard, but not efficiently. I don't know the names of the kicks and how to do all that. I can kick hard though, but I'm really good at grappling. So unless I take you to the ground, I'm not going to be very good at the fight. But when I get you to the ground, I'll likely win the fight. But when you add in another person, it's really hard to grapple two people at once. So for that reason, I feel like I might go into MMA if it's not too expensive. In Washington, it was like $200 to $300 a month for MMA classes. And I just do not want to spend that money, man. Do not want to spend that money.
Maybe it'd be worth it.
Move the mic a little closer, man. You keep getting farther away.
Okay. I would like to try some fighting class or something. Maybe wrestling. I'm a big boy.
Yeah, wrestling's fun. I'd not that close. Personally, I'd recommend, I'd definitely say go for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because it's like wrestling, but it's more practical in self-defense, and you injure yourself less. In wrestling, it's a lot of slamming the person to the mat. There's shots where you're standing and then you slide to one knee and you grab the leg, and then you come up, you pull the leg up, they fall to the ground. That sliding to one knee, it's basically, when you do it quick, it's just hitting your knee on the ground, bouncing off your knee. And it's fine at first, but it really messes up your knees. My knees click when I squat down because of wrestling. Doing 3 years of wrestling in middle school, my knees still click because of that. It's a great workout. It's very fun to learn. It is good for self-defense, but mostly for defense. Yeah, it's definitely the defense part, because you can get someone down, you can hold a dominant position, but you can't really take much of an offense with wrestling in a way that incapacitating them. If ever needed to. Say there's two people, say we get, you and I are out in the streets and two people jump us. If you have wrestling and I have jiu-jitsu, you could completely dominate the person who's trying to get you, and you could hold that dominance, but you might not necessarily know how to incapacitate him if needed, so you could come help me. And with jiu-jitsu, I could I know how to break his ankles, get him in a ton of different headlocks, choke him out, artery choke, blood choke, breath choke. There's also I could break his elbow joints, his shoulders, his wrists. I can actually incapacitate if needed. But jiu-jitsu obviously teaches, gain the dominant position and then just hold it, because you don't really want to be the one to injure the other person in the fight. There's a saying that the loser of the fight goes to the hospital, the winner goes to jail. And that's oftentimes the case you find in legal situations, where even if the person A jumped person B, and person B, the one getting jumped, demolished person A because he jumped him, oftentimes because he demolished him, the court has legal backing to say like he overdid it, and it's just jiu-jitsu teaches you how to defend yourself and hold the dominant position, but if needed, you can go further. So I definitely recommend jiu-jitsu, man. It's so much fun. I love it, and I miss it so much, man. I miss it so much. You say you miss marching band so much.
I do. It was very fun.
Is it actually a good workout? Because a lot of people try to say it counts as a sport.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly like, I mean, I guess it also depends on what instrument you play. Cause, I mean, when I first joined marching band, I was a trumpet full time. But then my senior year, I went to the bass line because I loved being a percussionist. But because like when I first started, because actually I had tried out 3 times and failed. And then when I got to try it for like a brass instrument, I actually was a tuba first. But then at that time, I was like, I don't want to be a tuba because that's going to be heavy.
Okay.
I'm lazy. So I retried and got trumpet. And I was like, wow, this is fun. I like to be loud.
Mm-hmm.
And then one thing I do want to do maybe later in life is join a jazz band.
Join a jazz band. I mean, like one of those big orchestra type bands, or just like a small jazz band?
Like a small jazz band, like you could hear like in a cafe in like New York or something.
Do it in the cafe. Yeah. That's what I was going to ask. Do it in the cafe. The small bars, things like that. Do you think you're that good, or you want to get that good? Is that something you actually really enjoy that much? You'd love to be in a band?
Yeah, I mean,
would you like to produce music? Would that be something you'd enjoy?
Maybe. I don't know. Originality is kind of hard for me. I being creative really sucks, especially for music creators. Like I watch a lot of people on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I watch this one guy, and it's like he always talks about it's really hard to make original music that doesn't sound like a song that's already created.
What's his name?
Oh, I can't remember. Oh, hold on.
Oh, wait. Is it? 'Cause
he plays the piano.
I think I know who you're talking about. Doesn't he do a little sketch where it's like, I made a new song, let me play it, and it's like, wait a second, that's this song just slower.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
How do you think I should put that? Type that in.
Making songs that already exist.
Making songs that already exist. Making songs that already exist.
Daniel Thrasher. Yeah.
Daniel Thrasher. Yeah, I've seen his videos. These ones are funny.
It's because it's hard. I mean, like, to be original, you gotta like go outside the box times like 1,000. Like, you gotta go so far outside the box that you can't even breathe.
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends who make music. Our friend Justice, his music name is J Apollo. Check him out. Great music. He was my second podcast. He and I have been good friends ever since we met at Buffalo Wild Wings. I've also got my friend Bobby. I don't know if he has like an official music name. He's the one you know. Yeah.
Bobby Black?
Yeah, Bobby Black. He and I were talking about you for a little bit. He said he actually said you were an annoying little kid at first.
Oh, dude, no. I used to be horrible, dude. Like, I don't know if your school had this thing. It's called like ISS. It's basically like if you got in trouble more than like 3 times, they'll sit you in a room. Like you'll get like kind of like in school suspension. So like you wouldn't be in the classroom. You'd be in a room with like a teacher that no one likes, and then you just like your teacher will send like all your teacher will send you work for that day, and then give it to you, and you just do it. You go to lunch. You eat lunch in that room that they put you in. Mm-hmm. Can't talk, except for like, I mean, I would still talk because I mean I was in there so much that the teacher was like,
"Wow,
we were like together." She was like, "Hey, I'm here again." And like, okay, we'll do your stuff, and then you get on the computer. Or something.
In the Everett School District, we had this thing called the STEP system for a little while. It was mainly implemented. Did you have the STEP system?
No.
Oh, were you saying, what are you doing, STEP system? Is that what you were saying? The STEP system was implemented mostly in middle school, I believe. High school didn't use it because it was dumb. But it was like step 1, you go sit in the corner in a chair. Step 2, if you if you're sitting in that chair and you're still making a disruption, or if you like refuse to sit in the chair, you have to stand in the corner. And step 3 is the hallway. Step 4 is you go sit in with like the principal's office or something like that. And then step 5 is we contact your parents, you know, if it kept escalating. And that system was just so dumb. And I specifically remember her name was Miss Olson. I despise, if this gets to you, Miss Olson,
We don't like you, Miss Olson.
I don't care. I did not like you at all.
Me and my homies hate Miss Olson.
Dude, when I say this, I'm not trying to bash on her for being fat. I'm bashing on her for being abnormally round. She was like perfectly rounded, like a meatball with arms and legs. Like, do you remember Willy Wonka when like, Violet, you're turning violet? She turned into a giant violet ball.
Or that one guy in that, what's it called? You know, like the something Copper Bottom, that Robots animated movie. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh yeah, that guy. It's just called Robots.
Robots.
Yeah, I mean, she was abnormally round. And we, in our science class, she was the science teacher, was very compact. It was a big class, but we had a lot of students in the class. And whenever we'd be like, hey, Miss Olson, we need help, she wouldn't be the one to stand at the end and be like, okay, how do I help you? She would squeeze in between all of the chairs and rub her gigantic crack on you. And then she'd come out and she'd be the one to like bend over as well, so the people in the back would see everything and be like, ugh. Like she was a fairly good teacher she was fairly good at teaching actual stuff, but she was pretty mean, and we did not like her rubbing her ass on us constantly. And I remember there was a time I walked into class, and from my previous class, we had like 5 minutes of passing period to get from one class to another. From my previous class, it only took like a minute to get there. So I was always one of the first people in there. And I walked in, I paused for a moment in the doorway because she rearranged the seats. I paused, looked around, kept walking. And she said, Noah, step 1 for blocking the doorway. I was like, what? What? I paused to like look at the seats. And she said, step 2 for arguing with me. I was like, are you serious right now? She said, step 2, Noah. And I went and stood in the corner, and I stood there for majority of the class. I was standing there, and I was like, can I get out of here? Are you still going to be mad at me for looking at the classroom? And she said, step 3 for arguing. And I went and stood in the hallway. I was like, I hate this woman so much. And it's just stuck with me for so long because I did not like her in the slightest bit. And that just escalated that, man. Miss Olson, I hope Satan eats you. And like, he makes the spaghetti and meatball sandwiches and he throws you into it and he eats you in hell. I do not like you, Miss Olson. Do you have any do you have any teachers like that? Did you have any infuriating teachers that just drove you crazy?
I had a vice principal that I hated at the time, but right now, like now at this age, I was like, she was just doing her job. Mm-hmm. But back then, she was always an interruption on my shenanigans because I'd always do stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I was always a bad kid. Like, because I had my...
Did this start in kindergarten and eventually end? Or what was the time frame where you were a delinquent?
It probably ended around maybe 8th grade.
Okay.
Well, maybe somewhere halfway through middle school. Uh-huh. I mean, I did stuff in high school, but it was just me being dumb. Like, I got 5 days of ISS for saying I was going to bring a gun to school and shoot my friend.
Remind me what... wait, hold on. Before I say what I was going to say.
No, I wasn't.
Say that again?
I joked, was if you don't shut up, I'm going to shoot you, bro, tomorrow. But everyone knew it was a joke. Everyone, even the teacher knew it was a joke. Mm-hmm. I told the joke to other people and yeah, everyone knew. And I asked other teachers yeah, you're joking, but you can't say that. I was like, okay. But she told the principal on me and he had to check my backpack, my locker, and pat me down. I was like, dude, come on. It was a joke. Everyone knew a joke. Everyone laughed, including the teacher. It was so dumb.
Yeah, that does sound pretty... Do you remember this happened about the time I was in middle school? There was viral news that this kid got suspended or expelled because he chewed his Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun and he was playing with it. And because of that, he got suspended or expelled. Dude, flip your phone over. We're having a podcast.
Well,
Get the heck out of here.
I got it, because someone commented on my post about like they quoted what I had said. So let me see what he said, because I did delete the comment. Where's the comment at?
What do you talk about?
The school shooter one stuff. Where is it? Because I remember he commented, and I was like, dude, why'd you say that on my post?
That's what you're looking up?
Yeah.
So I don't remember you saying you put it into a post. Did you post it on Instagram?
No, I
like,
didn't
this
post
is annoying?
One of my friends from school like commented on one of my posts saying it.
A random post, saying what you said to them?
What I said. Are you even listening?
Okay, yeah, you need to give me more details, man.
I said it, and then he quoted it back for some reason, thinking it was
just
funny.
at a random time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is it? I can't even remember. I might have deleted it.
And this was on Instagram?
Yeah.
Dude, Facebook is a cesspool. Facebook and Twitter is a cesspool for anger. I don't have Twitter, and I no longer have Facebook. I just have Messenger just to keep in contact with people if needed. All I've got is like Snapchat to text people with, because like I actually really enjoy the way Snapchat like created the way you text people in Snapchat. I actually quite enjoy that, because sending images is the norm. And so I'll just like send an image of what I'm doing. If I'm ever in like a normal SMS, using data text message, sending images while I'm texting is sort of not the norm. You're like, why are you sending me all these images? It just doesn't matter. I actually quite enjoy that. Like if I'm sitting here editing a podcast and I'm talking to someone while it's happening, I'll just send an image of editing a podcast, and that might start a conversation. I actually really enjoy that way of talking. I also enjoy that in Snapchat, you've got the little Bitmoji, and so you can actually see if they are in the chat and when they're typing and when they're just waiting for you to type.
Looks up.
Yeah, the guy looks up, and when they enter in, and then the chat bubble pops up when they're typing. I actually really enjoy that. I think Snapchat's made it more fun, more immersive to text people. And so that's why I text people on Snapchat. But yeah, the only social media I have is Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook Messenger. That's all I've got. I don't need any of this social media stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I mainly only use Instagram and Snapchat. I usually on Snapchat, I just like look at people's stories, and then I send streaks. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll put a story on.
Why do you send streaks, man? Why do you do it?
I don't know. Maybe it gives me something to do today. Like it's just like a thing I do, and I guess it just keeps me on track, because I do it in the morning. So I guess it's a reason for me to wake up, and then I do it at night, so I remember, hey, I did that, so I can go to bed.
Here, I've got something to read to you. This is what I send to anybody that ever sends me that red S or any sort of streaks at all. I send them, streaks are a social... Well, an accident clicked. Streaks are a social construct engineered to provide the parties maintaining said streak with a sense of community, friendship, and consistency, while actually doing the inverse of these by further segregating and separating the peoples due to the fact that neither part of the group is legitimately interacting with the other face-to-face and not even holding a meaningful and constructive conversation. In other words, no.
I think you've sent me that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I laugh every time.
I send that to anybody who sends me streaks, because I'm like, dude, streaks are so pointless. The only reason people started doing streaks was to increase their Snap score. And do you really judge your life by how many points you have on Snapchat? Really?
You can judge a girl's life by how much she has.
Elaborate.
Well, because like there's a girl with like 3,000. Either she's just created her account, or she's like innocent and stuff like that. She really just or she's like that girl that couldn't have Snapchat during high school. Mm. But then like there's girls with like over 1 million Snap score, which most people would like put into the area of like, yeah, she's kind of like too out there, kind of like a thought, or like a hoe.
She'd be a hoeing.
Yeah. I mean, like she talks to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So
she's sending that red S like 3 times a day.
No, I'm not entirely. Not, it doesn't have to be the red S. She's like actually talking to like everybody, like guys, girls, maybe mostly guys. If you catch my drift. What's
the range where you're like? So you said 3,000 is.
Let me check what my Snap score is.
You said 3,000 is like she's new to Snapchat or innocent. There's people with 1 million because they be hoeing.
See, my Snap score is only 74,000.
Only 74,000. That sounds like a lot to someone who knows nothing about Snap scores.
Well, I don't know, because I had to recreate my Snapchat because I didn't use Snapchat in middle school. My friend used my phone because he wasn't allowed to have a phone.
Mm-hmm.
So, because like he was my next door neighbor, so I would give him my phone. He would snap girls all the time. So I'm pretty sure I had like at least 100,000 on my other Snapchat account. But then I kind of forgot my password. And so like 4th of July, I was hanging out with my friend and his girlfriend, and then one of my other friends, and so we have friend A and friend B. There's 1, 2, 3. I'm the third because friend B started like talking to friend A's girlfriend's cousin. So I was basically like the third whale. And then like
you lost me.
Okay, so
usually I could keep up with that, but you lost me.
I suck at selling stuff that include more than just me. So like I went to my friend's house. Him and his girlfriend were there, and his girlfriend's cousin was there too. So my other friend came to hang out with his girlfriend's cousin. And so I was just there like a third wheel.
Dude, you were like the 7th wheel by that time.
There's only 4 people.
I'm just saying, you were so far behind. Like, because it was him, his girlfriend, and then you said his girlfriend's cousin, and then your friend to hang out with the girlfriend's cousin.
No,
you were the 5th wheel.
Yeah, I should have said it like that. But then eventually I was like, because it was 4th of July too. So like we were going to do stuff that night. And then eventually my other friend that lived across the street from the friend's house I was at, we started playing Call of Duty. But I mean, I eventually, because I was like, I need a new Snapchat because I'm still getting texts from girls thinking that it's my friend A, because he used to snap girls all the time. Like he'd use my phone, he'd use Facebook. It was weird.
So he would text a bunch of people using your phone?
Yes.
Like he'd have full-on conversations with people using your phone?
Yes.
That is strange. You know, using my phone, obviously I'd let them use my phone to like, oh, my phone's dead or whatever. I'd never let people have an account on my phone. That's just weird.
I mean, I guess it was our account, but I mean, I didn't really use Snapchat, and I really didn't care. I mean, he's my best friend. I mean, we did a lot of things together. Hung out almost like every day. I didn't find it weird. I mean, I was already a weird kid, so I mean, something more weird than me, I didn't see that happening.
Dude, I was a strange little kid in elementary school. You know, obviously going through the foster care system, being adopted, that very much contributed to me being a strange kid. I was quite socially awkward in elementary school, but in middle school,
I don't think anybody knew I was half black until like high school.
Were you just not
Would you like
dark?
to see a picture of me? This is during UIL, and I think I want to say 7th grade.
Okay.
And I want to let people think that I probably was albino because I looked like that. That's me and my friend Jace.
What? Obviously, you're half black.
Yeah, I mean, because my hair, but
yeah, because your hair, you're light skin.
A little too light skin. I don't think I ever went outside, dude. Because I had such a fascination.
During summer, do you get really dark?
If I go outside. I mean, because back then I used to like never go outside. I got too into video games. Like I'd rather play video games to go hang out with friends. That's probably why like I don't have a lot of like social groups. I mean, I had other friends like me and my friend Hayden. Like you know him. Like we didn't really start hanging out until high school. Like I never like went to his house. I think I went to his house twice during middle school. But like before that, like I never really went to people. If they didn't live on my street, I never went to their house.
Do you feel sort of, not necessarily guilty, but you regret that you hadn't hung out with him sooner because you realize now he's such a cool person?
Well, I don't regret, but I mean, like, I feel like there's a lot of moments that could have been there if I had just been like, hey, you want to hang out? Because, I mean, I feel like it's a lot easier now that I have a car because, I mean, I can go anywhere, but, like, I never liked having to like ask people to take me places. Yeah, it was super annoying because like sometimes they just couldn't. So it was like, well, I don't know they invite me places.
I feel sort of similar about my friend Nick. He, I mean, we'd known each other since elementary school. I mean, we'd had the same school since kindergarten, but we were never really good friends until late high school. I mean, we still haven't hung out that much, but whenever we do talk or hang out, we have an absolutely amazing time. And there's a small part of me that's like, damn, I really wish I'd simply asked him to come over, like early elementary school, and he and I would have been greater friends because of it. Because like whenever I talk to him, we have a blast talking about stuff. I mean, he's the type of like I video called him on Snapchat, and when he opened it, it was like a lower view, and I was double chinning. I was just looking at him, and he was just staring at me, and we just stared at each other for like 3 minutes, and then we both started busting out laughing at the same time. I mean, he and I can just have fun and goof around, and when I look back on him, like, dang, I really wish I'd initiated the friendship sooner, because there's another memory of us together. We did canning together. Do you know what that is? Do you have that down here?
Canning?
Canning, yeah. It's where it's like the food drive. Do you have a food drive?
Oh, we have food drive, but yeah, I've never done that.
Yeah, we, in Washington, this is a common thing, at least in the Everett Public School District, where we would, whole school for like about a month, usually around Thanksgiving, Christmas time, we would arrange things, and the classes would be competing against each other to see who gets the most cans. Whoever gets the most cans gets certain prizes. And all this non-perishable food we would collect, and then either like during Thanksgiving or Christmas or sometime in between, we would go give it to a family in need. And he, myself, and 2 other classmates from our English class, we all went out to go canning, and that's when you stand at the front of a grocery store, and you've got like carts, and you've got a sign and all that stuff saying food drive, and you ask people, hey, if you're going in, if you feel okay with it, could you buy a little extra so that when you come out, we can take it to a home in need, and we'd collect over time. And he and I, we had one side of the store, one entrance, and the other 2 classmates had the other. And for that whole night, we were just having an absolute blast. One guy, he pulled up in his car, and he said, here, take this. And he gave us a moldy avocado that was just sitting in his car. He had a moldy avocado sitting in the cup holder in his car. And we're like, what are we going to do with this? Because we're supposed to have non-perishable food, and fruits are perishable foods. And he gave us a moldy avocado. Is an avocado a fruit?
No.
What is it? I'm looking that up right now. Is an avocado a fruit? What the heck's an avocado?
What? Well, no, it's not a fruit. Maybe
because
if it's a fruit that makes jam.
It's got the
that
seeds
makes
inside.
Guacamole a jam.
Guacamole. Oh my gosh, that does. I've got to look this up. Please don't say yes. Avocado a fruit. What is it?
I honestly can't.
Yes. Oh my gosh, avocado's a fruit.
Guacamole's a jam.
Avocados are one of the few fruits. Yes, technically they're a fruit, not a veggie, that contain healthy unsaturated fats. It's a fruit.
Well, maybe guacamole can't be a jam.
It's a jam.
No,
wait. You don't put
sugar.
the sugar in it. Yeah.
It can't be a jam.
Is it a preservative? Jams and jellies and jams are the same thing, right? No. I know they're separate names. Is one of them no sugar and one with sugar?
Look it up.
All right, I gotta look this up. We gotta get down to the bottom of this. Is guacamole a jam? I gotta look. I'm just gonna directly look that up. Is guacamole a jam? Avocados are fruit, making guacamole a jam. Oh, what? Seriously?
I was right.
This says shower thoughts. Making guacamole a jam.
Thoughts?
Next person was like, chocolate here. I'm just going to visualize this on OBS so anybody can see what I'm reading while I'm reading it. Chocolate is a fruit, making a banana split 2 of my 5 a day. What? Have you tried putting cherry? What are you talking about? Tomatoes and peppers are the same way, so some could be said about salsa. Yeah, that's true. That could be, because salsa, you actually do put, oh my gosh, ketchup is a jam.
Oh, now you just figured this out. Yeah, that's been a thing.
That's been a thing
You're
for a long
late.
time. I'm late to the party, man. Ketchup's a jam? Gosh, damn. What are you doing, avocados? That's disgusting.
Wait, like a cocoa bean? Is that why they keep on saying chocolate is also a fruit?
Oh yeah, isn't cocoa bean technically a fruit? Why is so many things a fruit that clearly aren't fruit? Why is the...
Because people are stupid and like this.
Dude, the parameters to get into a fruit is so... To get into the group of being a fruit are so low. It's like a community college, dude. Holy crap. Increase your parameters. Make it more strict, fruits. Not everything's a fruit.
Well, I think...
Guacamole is just avocado jelly. This is awful.
So you could say you're having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but it's peanut butter and guacamole.
Actually, that might not taste bad. I like
problem.
guacamole. As long as you don't put a bunch of onions and stuff. And I don't like onions, man. Onions are freaking nasty.
I'll eat, I don't know. Onions are weird. Like, if I don't know they're on something, then I'll eat it. But then if I know, like, I'll eat onion rings. Onion rings are awesome. What?
Onion rings are nasty. For anybody that heard that without seeing it, I just tried eating the microphone. Onion rings are nasty, man. Freaking nasty.
Maybe.
Anything that involves onions is nasty except pho, and I can only have that in short doses. And maybe Funyuns, and I don't even like Funyuns, and they're not even real onions. They just got onion powder on them. They're just chipped with onion powder in a circle. That's all it is. Man. Onions are nasty. Yo, crusty bones. What's your least favorite food? Because we've established onions is mine.
Green beans.
Green, really?
Yeah.
I love green
hate
beans.
Green beans.
I've always been the type to like fruits vegetables as a kid.
I mean, I like
everything's a fruit. Vegetables are a fruit.
Everything's a fruit. This table's a fruit. This microphone is a fruit.
Eat it. Oh my gosh. What was that?
Pee.
You got to pee?
Yeah.
You can pause it. You can go pee.
Oh, nice.
All right. So unfortunately, I tried pressing re-record. I tried pressing resume, but instead I accidentally pressed off. So you only got an hour of the podcast that would have been like an hour and a half because we started talking about familial issues and we went pretty deep on some stuff. Unfortunately, you don't really get to hear that, but you can get this first hour. Do you have any closing remarks, Colby? Like, do you want people to follow you on Discord, or do you have a small YouTube channel they want to follow? Anything like that?
No, not a YouTube channel. But hey, if we do this again, we can go back on that topic so people can know.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will do this again.
Yes.
You're a good friend, man. I like talking to you. I got to say, as a child, I always had... What's up?
I was just going to make a noise.
As a child, I always had friends that I really enjoyed hanging out. Like, I had really good friends. But I never had that friend that liked pretty much all the same things I did. Like, we love playing video games together. We're definitely going to play some tennis now that I got you that extra racket.
Most definitely.
We can, I had you on my podcast. We can talk about whatever the heck we want to. Politically, we're fairly similar. Socially, fairly similar. Morally, fairly similar. It feels good to, have a friend who has so many similarities, but there's, still enough differences to where I'm not hanging out with a clone. Yeah. Anyways,
I am you.
You are me. You're bigger me.
I'm like Bizarro you.
Bizarro me?
Because I'm like...
Is that from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Is that what you're saying?
Because he's like Bizarro Superman. Like, he's the opposite of Superman. Like...
Oh, I remember that stuff.
Opposite with enough similarities.
Anyways, this is just supposed to be an outro.
Oh, yeah.
We're not starting another podcast. We will do another one, though. Anyways, that was the Rootless Minds Podcast. Thank you for listening. You know the drill. Like, follow, share, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Hit a bell. You can go check me out on Instagram, and I'm also on Spotify as well, or Anchor. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Some people got too much pride. Some people always gonna lie, but it is what it is. Some people ain't gonna change. They gonna be the same till they die. It is what it is. Some people always gonna be fake. Some people always gonna hate. It is what it is. I got a lot on my plate, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.